Salt, also known as sodium chloride, is composed of around 40% sodium and 60% chloride. It is often extracted from salt mines or produced by evaporating salt water or other mineral-rich liquids. There are many varieties of salt available, such as plain table salt, Himalayan pink salt, sea salt, and coarse salt. Although salt may differ in flavor, texture, and color, it is an essential ingredient to season food and also serves as a food preservative to inhibit bacterial growth when used in high concentrations. Can our body work properly without sodium? The answer is no. Sodium is an important element for nerves to convey electrical signals and make muscles contract and relax. It also plays an important role in keeping the body's fluids and balance. However, if we consume too much salt, the excess amount of sodium can be detrimental. According to an article in the newspaper The New York Times, a study conducted by several universities in the US found that if everyone consumed half a teaspoon less salt per day, there would be between 54,000 and 99,000 fewer heart attacks each year and between 44,000 and 92,000 fewer deaths. Yet, many of us consume 2 or 3 times the recommended amount, often without even realizing it. Diets that contain high amounts of sodium can increase the chances of cardiovascular disease and stroke. The risk of many diseases is linked to the amount of salt consumed. Our kidneys are in charge of regulating the salt level in our body. When the sodium level is low, the kidneys will try to retain it. When sodium is high, the kidneys will start to release some in urine until the level becomes balanced. But if sodium can't be eliminated efficiently, it will start to build up in the blood. Because sodium attracts water, the body will hold on to water in order to dilute it. Consequently, this increases the volume of blood. What happens if the volume of blood rises? Imagine if air is pumped into a balloon. The pressure inside will increase and begin to stretch the balloon's surface. With even more air pumped into it, the surface stretches further and becomes more prone to burst. Similarly, in the human body, an increase in blood volume can cause greater strain on the blood vessels. Now, the heart must also work harder to pump blood throughout the body, and it increases the pressure in the arteries. This is commonly known as high blood pressure or hypertension. Over time, the risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease increases. An article from the medical journal The Lancet describes hypertension as a hidden risk of many cardiovascular conditions because it accelerates the development of atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a condition that involves the hardening and thickening of blood vessel walls caused by cholesterol deposits. When combined with high blood pressure, it puts people at greater risk of a heart attack and stroke if blood vessels are blocked or ruptured. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration stated that high blood pressure is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke, 2 leading causes of death in the U.S. It pointed out that consuming excess amounts of salt is one of the underlying causes of hypertension. It becomes very clear that one of the keys to maintaining healthy blood pressure is sodium reduction and using salt moderately in one's diet. In addition to cardiovascular risk, a high salt diet is correlated with osteoporosis, which is a health condition that makes the bones fragile and weakens them. The body naturally excretes sodium through the urine, but some calcium may be flushed out along with sodium in urine. For every 2,300 milligrams of sodium we take in, about 40 milligrams of calcium will be lost in the urine. According to studies, postmenopausal women who eat a high salt diet lose more bone minerals than other women their age. Therefore, to prevent the loss of calcium, it is important to limit the amount of salt intake. This helps generate a positive calcium balance while decreasing the loss of calcium from bones that occurs with aging. In addition, A high intake of salt is linked to an increased risk of stomach cancer. It is one of the leading causes of death by cancer and the fifth most common cancer worldwide. However, we have more control over our diet than we think. The saying, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure," holds true in medicine. Cutting back on salty foods is very helpful in reducing the chances of developing many serious health conditions, including stomach cancer. How much salt intake is considered healthy? It is common to see people eating more than 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily, which is the equivalent of more than 1.5 teaspoons of salt. However, the amount that our body actually needs is less than 500 milligrams of sodium per day in order to function properly. According to the American Heart Association, most adults should consume no more than 2,300 milligrams of salt daily. It is recommended that people with high blood pressure should limit sodium consumption to 1,500 milligrams each day. Even if these targets are not met, cutting back sodium intake by 1,000 milligrams per day can be beneficial in lowering blood pressure. We will now share a few tips to help you better manage the amount of salt in meals. Statistics show that 70 to 80% of the salt we eat comes from processed foods or meals in restaurants. That's why eating fresh and minimally processed vegan foods is always a wonderful option to limit the amount of salt in our diet. Fresh vegetables and fruits are naturally low in sodium. When you prepare your meals from scratch by using them, you will be in total control of the amount of salt added to your dishes. There are days when you may just feel like having extra ingredients for your meals. In that case, remember to check the nutrition facts label on the food products carefully so that you pick a healthy ingredient that meets the recommended value. For example, some items on the shelf might look like a healthy choice because it says it has 25% less sodium. However, if you look closely at the nutrition facts label, you will be surprised that the sodium content may still be more than half of the daily recommended amount. Instead of using salt as the only flavoring, you may also try fresh or dried herbs and spices to enhance the aroma. Alternatively, you can try squeezing lemon on your food to jazz up the taste. Did you know that research conducted at a university in the United States found that using lemons to replace salt in dishes can help reduce sodium up to 75% without compromising the taste? Next time, if you have lemons in your kitchen, give it a try. When you're ready to get started on cutting back the salt, start slowly. Remember that your taste for salt is acquired, meaning that you can train your taste buds. After using salt-free seasonings for a few weeks, you will find your palate becoming more used to a low-sodium diet. Start by using less than 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt daily in your cooking. Slowly reduce it, and then you may eventually find that you're still able to enjoy meals without the salt shaker on your dining table. If you find reducing the amount of salt in your diet challenging, take it easy and know that you're not alone. You can find useful health information online to help you reach your goal, and there are events, such as World Salt Awareness Week, which takes place annually to raise public awareness of the detrimental effects of eating too much salt. If you'd like to take your first step to cut back your sodium intake, join us in adopting a balanced, whole food plant-based diet to achieve better health and extend your compassion for the souls of many beautiful animal people. It is a perfect win-win option to boost your vitality and live harmoniously with all the co-inhabitants on Earth.